You were standing outside the fertility clinic waiting for your husband to answer your calls, but after a few rings, it diverted to the voicemail. You ended the call and texted him but got no response. The amount of anger and betrayal you were feeling right now was hard to express. You went inside the clinic all alone when your husband promised you to be there with you. Mrs. John Ryan. You got up when the receptionist called your name and it was your turn to see the doctor. You are here to get your reports after your second IVF, or you can say the final. The first one failed miserably, making you sadder than ever, but you collected yourself as Jungkook comforted you. He says that he will still love you. In fact, he will love you forever no matter what. He may be true, but your marriage seems to be falling apart these days, and you thought that a child could bring back that same affection again. So you tried for IVF one more time, and now you really want the results to be positive. The way you were rolling your wedding ring in your finger could clearly feel how nervous you are right now. You have to come in the room all alone when you badly want Jungkook to be with you, but that guy is more occupied in work these days to think about anything or any promise he makes. The doctor gestured to the two empty seats opposite him. While you both were waiting for your husband to come in an awkward silence, the doctor checked the folder to probably remind himself of your name. Today is the day when you will find out if the IVF worked or not, but sadly Jungkook wasn't here yet to hear it. Well, it's a very good news for you, Mrs. John. You are pregnant, he said with a slight smile, and you couldn't believe what you just heard, so you made him repeat. What? What did you say? He smiled, this time more brighter, as he completely understood the feeling how his patients feel when they get such news. It's a good news for you. You are pregnant. The IVF was successful. There were tears in your eyes. After 5 years of trying, crying about it, and so much struggles, you finally got the chance of having your own child that you always wanted. How badly you wish Jungkook to be here. The doctor made you lie on the bed and scanned your tummy. He pointed out at the tiny speck on the screen. It's your embryo, the contents of your husband's sample pot and your eggs grown together in a lab had been successfully implanted in your womb. You looked at it on the screen, alive and growing inside you. You were happy but upset too. He missed such an important moment. You felt so abandoned and unwanted, as if he had stopped caring about you. You knew he must be busy with his work as always. As he told you, he has an important meeting with a very famous author, and he is after adapting his stories for his screenplay, for which he works day and night. But he also promised to come back on time that he once again missed, and you can't even do anything. This is just getting too much. Jungkook arrived at the reception on the clinic just as you were leaving. He has an apologetic look on his face, but you didn't say anything. In fact, looked away from him while he tried to explain to you. Ryan, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that it will take that much time. I'm so sorry. You cut him in the middle. It's okay. I'm sick of hearing you talk about your work as if it's the only thing that matters. You make shit up for a living and your agents sell them. I think it's about time you all got over yourself. I'm sorry, Ryan. You didn't listen to him and walked away while he followed. You were walking without looking back. He knew you must be so angry and it would be very hard to make up for it, and this time he genuinely felt guilty for his behavior. He got the permission to adapt the famous author's book that no one has ever got, and it was a lot harder than he thought. You stopped a cab, but Jungkook made you sit in his car. The whole ride you didn't say anything, nor he find the courage to speak much after seeing your mood. You didn't even tell him about your pregnancy even when you reached home. As soon as you reached home, you locked yourself in your room while Jungkook was trying to apologize. Fine, I'm so sorry. I tried to come but it took long. I promise I won't do that again. He was continuously asking you to come out but there was no response from your side. Open the door, love. I promise you I won't do it again. He again banged on the door, a little hard this time. He knew it's of no use because you'll come out when you want, so he decided to prepare dinner so that it can at least do something better. You always like it when he cooks something for you. Time changes everything, and especially in marriages. It's very hard to keep the same love until the end. It's not a book or movie that if you don't like the story then you can change or switch to another. It's a lifetime commitment, and oftentimes efforts needed to be made to make it work for long. Due to a load of work and financial instability, you guys are working day and night, but Jungkook is running after his dreams. That is doing a little damage in his happy married life. You came downstairs after a few hours and Jungkook noticed that you must be crying. He apologized and bring you to the dinner table he specially prepared. Your mood didn't get better but you stayed silent. Sometimes you really hate him, not your husband but the one he became running after work. You sometimes hate when all you talk about is work or the people he wants to work, but like a good wife you listen to him because you don't want to hurt him. It was really hard to convince him, and even though I planned that I'll leave early, his long conversation didn't stop and never ended. I thought it would be rude if I leave like this in front of so many people, and he didn't even tell me if he wants to give me permission to adapt his novel for my screenplay, so I have no choice but to wait. He passed you a glass of wine, but out of anger you threw it and it shattered into pieces when it hit the floor. Jungkook looked at you in disbelief. Your POV. I didn't mean to throw the glass. It just dropped from my hands. It wasn't my fault. I watched as Jungkook got up and picked the broken pieces before throwing it into the bin and mopped the floor. He felt a little hurt. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. I said, but he didn't answer. Sometimes I feel like one of the abandoned pet I see at work every day. It wasn't my fault. It was his for making me feel this crazy at the first place. I don't know why you are so angry all the time. He said it sounding a bit cold. His words made you angrier. I'm not angry. You said but did sound angry because you were but more than that hurt. I'm just tired of being the only one making an effort in this relationship. We never talk anymore. It's like living with a housemate, not a husband. You never ask me about my day or my work or how I'm feeling. It's just what's for dinner or where is my blue shirt or have you seen my keys? I'm not a housewife. I have a life and a job of my own. You make me feel so unlikable and unloved and invisible. You rarely cry, but today you couldn't stop yourself. Jungkook hardly show any affection these days. He was not always like this. In fact, you both were so much in love that it was hard to stay away from each other until recently. Jungkook was so guilty hearing all that. He never wanted to take things this far that you start to feel like this, but unintentionally it happened. I'm sorry. he whispered, and before you could ask him for which part he is specifically apologizing for. There was an instant silence for a second. He was completely shocked hearing that, and then his eyes filled up with tears. For real? He said, still imagining it like a dream while you nodded. Yes. He went upstairs in your room and came back with a brown envelope before showing him the scan. You both cried out of happiness. You have dreamed of that moment for so long. That black and white image was the only thing that made any of it feel real to him because he wasn't there to witness it. I couldn't believe it first when the doctor revealed this news. I was shocked, as you. He chuckled and hugged you from the side. I told you that everything will be alright. Now I promise I will never step back from my responsibilities. I will take care of you. Are you sure you will be able to keep up your promise? Because these days you seem to forget everything. He shook his head. This time for real. I can never risk my dream family for my dreams. You are more important than anyone. It felt like old days when you used to spend hours in each other's arms. Life was simple, but as you progressed, they say when you determine to achieve something in life, pretty often your relationships fell apart first if you become ignorant, and that's not a good sign. You were happy to live this moment with Jungkook, and you always wanted to live like this. A little less money would work, but not these cracks in your relationship. I hope it's a girl, you said looking at him. Why? I hope it's a boy. You raised a brow. And why so? I mean, why do you want a boy and not a girl? He inhaled and smiled a little. I don't have any specific answer. I just said it. Let's rock, paper, scissors for it. You laughed. You want to play rock, paper, scissors to determine the gender of our unborn baby? Is time a more scientific way? He replied with a serious face. Okay, let's do it, you said, shrugging your shoulders. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Whoa, I won, you said, jumping in excitement, and Jungkook smiled, seeing you again happy like before. Your scissors cut his paper just like always. You let me win. Yes, because I don't really mind whether it's a girl or boy. I love them either way, but I'll always love you more, he said, kissing your forehead while tears again filled in your eyes. I have something for you, he said, going to the table and came back with a gift box. You looked at it confused and curious. You got me a gift? He smiled and nodded. What's inside? You said, couldn't able to control your curiosity while opening the wrapping. See it yourself. You unwrapped it and there was a linen cushion inside with your name stitched on it along with the following words penned. He tried not to cry but cried again. It felt as if he already knows that you were pregnant. He believed in you when you lost all the hopes and beliefs in yourself.